I'm freaking out. Hope this works. Here goes nothing. Hey, it's RKA, and it's confession time, people. Have you been creeping on Marie Forleo's website again? Have you been doing a little bit of low-key stalkery, just clicking around, clicking and scrolling and all that good stuff? I see you. I see you. Or maybe it wasn't Marie's website. Maybe it was Nisha Moodley's or Danielle Laporte, Lewis House, Michael Hyatt. I'm watching you. I'm watching you watch them. How do I know this? How do I know that you're creeping on Marie? Well, because I'm a web designer. And one of the number one questions I ask clients when they're coming in the door and looking for my services is, what websites do you absolutely love that have a similar look and feel to kind of the website of your dreams? And 9 times out of 10, well, actually, I don't know. I actually have no actual real stats on this, but at least every other person who comes through my doors says to me, MarieForleo.com. What? And I mean, and I've been doing this for a while. I mean, this is long before her beautiful brand new web design that she did last year. And who did that web design? Chris did it. Literally, K-R-I-S-S did it.com. Crystal Rowry. I hope I'm saying her last name right. If you're wondering, if you came here today to be like, who made that website of hers? Well, I'm giving you the inside scoop. It was Chris. She's the best. And I mean, who doesn't love Marie Forleo's gorgeous website? I mean, I'm not going to blame you. There's no shame in kind of peeking around at it. But I got to tell you, what's funny is, even though, as I said, every other person who comes through my doors must mention MarieForleo.com as like the website of their dreams. Oh, it sounds like there might not be any sound. What? Gosh, I don't know. Can you hear me now, Becca Lynn Hatfield? Can you hear me now? Of course. Of course this is happening right now. I don't know. It sounds like there might not be any sound. I think there is sound, actually. I'm just gonna keep it on. I'm gonna keep it going and hope you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. Okay, great. Carrie says the sound is okay, so let's just keep on rolling. So here is the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about clients who come to me and they tell me, oh my gosh, I love Marie Forleo's website. I want Marie Forleo's website. So I'll dive into it. I'll be like, okay, let's talk about this. Is it the logo that you like? You know, she's got this nice, clean, minimalist, sans serif logo. It's lowercase. Is that what you like? Well, no, actually, I don't really like the logo. I'd like my own logo. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's dive into the color palette. You have these really nice roses, like these nude blush and black and some neutrals mixed in. Is it the colors that you like so much? Well, no, actually, I have my own color palette that I really like. So, okay, it's not the colors that people like. All right, is it the layout of the site? It's so nice and clean, and you've got those big parallax sections and that gorgeous photography. Well, actually, I would really like to do my own thing when it comes to layout. That's what people tell me. What? So what I found out about y'all is this. You don't actually want Marie Forleo's website, but this is what you do want. This is what I've noted that you do want. You love her confidence. You love her brand confidence. You love how she stands in her brand. I mean, I don't know too many other small business owners, entrepreneurs like Marie. I mean, is she even really a small business owner anymore? I don't know if she qualifies in that category. I mean, she's getting pretty big. But I mean, I don't know very many people who have got the confidence that she brings to her brand. She's just got so much confidence. And even more than confidence, you know what she has is, y'all love the fact that she's got a connection with her audience. She has got this super connection with her audience. I mean, you love her, right? You've been following her for years. She has this kind of Oprah vibe about her that you feel like when you're watching her show or you're watching her, her Marie TV, or you're reading her blogs, you feel like she's your girlfriend. She gets into your inbox every few days. You feel like it's a friend coming to hang out and give you the real deal about building your business. And so you love the connection that she has with you and the rest of her audience. And okay, let's be real about it. This is another thing I figured out that you love about Marie Forleo's website. You love her following. You love her success. And if I figured out anything in my years as a web designer and strategist, it is that when clients come to me and they say, I want Marie Forleo's website, or I want Nisha Moodley's website, I want Danielle Laporte's website, I want Shanae Howard's website, I want Michael Hyatt's website. When you're saying that, what you're really saying is, I want their brand confidence. I want their brand clarity. I want their connection with their audience. I want their success. And I think that one of the keys of Marie's success specifically is that relatability that I was just talking about. If you've watched her over the years, you've kind of watched her grow up as a business owner. I mean, do you remember the days of like live in the moment booty camp? Anybody? Because I remember like 8 years ago, I had a client that had me transcribe. She had this webinar series. It was, how to live in the moment. She called it booty camp. She did these little booty pop dances. And I listened to that on slow motion over and over again because I was transcribing this so my client could read it and really dive in and get all the juicy details out of it. I mean, Marie came from the days of booty camp all the way to Marie TV today. She built that up. So I feel like a lot of my clients who admire her and look to her brand, what they really love about her is her accessibility, her relatability, and they have this idea of, if I could just have her website, if I could just have a website like hers, then I could have success like hers. Do you know what I'm saying? And I gotta tell you, and I think you know it deep down, Marie didn't become Marie by copying the people that she admired. And that brings me into, what am I gonna talk about today? If you're still telling me, Rach, I love that site. I do want Marie Forleo's website. I'm not done yet. By the time I'm done, I will have convinced you that you don't want it and that you could even have something better. And it's not about being better than Marie. I mean, come on. No, I mean, like, you can't. All right, let's just like stop before. Let's just not and say we did. All right, it's not about trying to be better than her. It's about crafting a brand that is better for you and that is better for your audience and that is better for your business. And I'll tell you right now, even if you went to Chris, who did her gorgeous website, even if you went to Chris and, she's going to tell you the same thing. You don't want Marie Forleo's website. I'm not going to design another Marie Forleo's website for you because that's not the key to success. That's not how Marie built her brand. And so we're going to talk about 3 reasons why you don't want Marie Forleo's website and 3 ways that you can build a brand that is even better for you and your business. Let's get started. So, all right, I'm going to start right off the bat. Okay, so as I said before, I think a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, if I could just have a website like Marie's, then maybe I could have success like Marie's. Well, it doesn't work that way, people. And it comes down to this. Nobody loves a knockoff. Now, they might like a knockoff. They might be cool with the knockoff. They'd be like, okay with the knockoff. But let's just imagine you have this dream of having this beautiful Gucci purse, okay? And maybe you can't quite afford it just yet. You might go down, downtown, find somebody who's selling knockoff Gucci purses that look close enough, and maybe you'll buy it, and maybe you'll like it, and you'll use it every day. But will you love it in your heart? Or will it just be kind of like a placeholder for the real deal when you finally are able to get your real Gucci purse? Now, when you are building a brand, you don't want to be good enough. You don't want to be a stand-in for the real thing while, okay, I'll go with this person while I'm really preparing to do B school one day. Or I'm going to work with this brand or this business and they're fine. They're passable. Maybe maybe they're like kind of look like the original. Nobody loves a knockoff. And if you're starting from a place where you're never going to get that brand love that you seek, well, you're setting yourself up for failure. So right off the bat, you don't want to be a knockoff because nobody loves a knockoff, all right? And I'm going to piggyback onto that. That's the number 1 reason. Nobody loves a knockoff. Come on, you don't want to start from good enough. That's not that's not where the brand mojo comes in. The second reason why you don't want Marie Forleo's website is when you're copying somebody else's brand strategy, somebody else's marketing strategy, somebody else's look and feel, you're always doomed to be 2 steps behind. And you want to be 2 steps ahead. So, and this is one of the reasons why I always get down on all these gurus, selling their, 5 tips for being just like me, how to make $1 million just like I did. You're basically getting people sloppy seconds. So even if it was as easy as copying Marie Forleo's website so that you could get her results, you're going to be getting her kind of passed down, hand-me-down results. You know what I'm saying? So you know, when you're copying and when you're emulating and when you're trying to, you know, you look at your brand role models and you do exactly what they do, you're always doomed to be 2 steps behind. And guess how Marie Forleo got to be Marie Forleo? Well, she was 2 steps ahead, my friends. She was 2 steps ahead. So you want to be creating a brand that is uniquely you, searching for ways to innovate, searching for ways to get better than the competition. That's what you want to be searching for, not how can I copy. Not, you know, not that Marie Forleos, anyway, I mean, like, she doesn't have competition. Can we just say that right now? I mean, there's just, like, literally no. So, you know, but that's what I'm trying to say here is when you're copying somebody else's brand model, you're always going to be 2 steps behind. And you got to be 2 steps ahead. So you don't want Marie Forleo's website. You don't want to be 2 steps behind. And, you know, finally, the last reason that you don't want, I mean, there's like a zillion reasons, but I'm keeping it to 3. I'm keeping it to the 3 top reasons, folks. The last reason, number 3 reason why you don't want Marie Forleo's website is your audience can smell when you're playing dress up in somebody else's brand. They can smell it. Okay, this is what people are talking about. They're always talking about authenticity, and it's not authenticity or vulnerability, all that, you know, all those juicy buzzwords. That doesn't mean like I have to get online and be like, I had a fight with my husband, you know, like you don't, it's not about revealing the inner secrets of your world and of your life. It's about coming and bringing your secret sauce, your special thing. And I know, and that's one of the things that Marie talks about all the time. You know, the world needs that special gift that only you can bring. And I know it does, it, you know, it can come off a little bit cheesy, like, you know, the world needs my special gift, but it's true. And, you know, when I talked about the trajectory of Marie's career, if you watched over the years, all the way from, you remember, you know, I think even in that Live in the Movement, here's a commercial break from awkwardmarketing.com. Live in the Movement, starring me. All right, so we're living in the movement right now, but you remember that Live in the Moment booty camp that Marie did? She came from the Live in the, and she talked about in that booty camp, I believe, when she did her first workshop, and she had like 3 people there, include one was her mom. Okay, she has evolved her brand all the way over the years. She didn't start as Marie. And hey, like actually we're kind of moving our way down into the 3 next things I want to tell you, which is how can you craft a brand that is even better than what Marie Forleo's brand would do for you, because that's not your brand. How can you do something better for your brand and your business? And so I'm kind of scooching my way over here, away from playing dress up in someone else's brand to creating consistent content and pivoting and you know, hitting it and trying new things until you find something that lands. So this whole story of Marie going from the Live in the Movement, what the heck is that about? Live in the movement. We're just living in the movement. I'm going to buy that, liveinthemovement.com. That's going to be my new brand. So, you know, just, you heard it here first, folks. But that, you know, when you look at Marie's trajectory from Live in the Moment booty camp and then the rich, happy and hot, I think that was, you know, the next iteration maybe, to finally just, you know, being Marie with, you know, no other business name. She didn't start with a massive following. Remember, her first workshop was like 3 people, including her mom. And I think like her cousin was there too, and like maybe her best friend. So she didn't start at her success point. Hey, Carrie, I'm so glad to see you here. And thank you for helping me out with the sound thing. Thank you. She didn't start with amazing content reaching hundreds of thousands of people every week. She started with 3 people in a workshop, and she kept creating content, and she kept pivoting, and each time she got closer, and each time things landed more, and when they landed, she went more in that direction, and when they didn't land, she pivoted in another direction, and that's how she did it. So the number 1 way that I would say that you can create a brand that is even better than MarieForleo.com is by consistently creating content, finding what sticks, moving more in that direction, moving away from what doesn't stick, and you gotta go and you gotta be consistent and you gotta do it week after week after week. Sometimes when I'm doing these lives, I feel a little bit like I'm shouting into the darkness, you know, and yet I will tell you that LOL, literally yesterday, I got on a client call and the guy's like, you're gonna laugh because I actually found you because I read that blog that you wrote about Marie Forleo's website, and I know that I really shouldn't want it, but I really still love it. So that was the first part, and I was like, I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, I've heard it before. I hear it basically once a week, if not more. But the second thing he said was, then he went to my Facebook page, he found my videos, he watched one of the videos, he thought it was hilarious, and he was like, I gotta call this woman. And that was my moment of like, yes, it's landing. So I'm doing it. I'm being consistent, folks. Sometimes I don't have a huge live audience that comes and joins me live. And I know that because I'm doing this on my Facebook page instead of my personal profile. And there's a strategy behind that, rest assured. But I don't always have a ton of people showing up live. Doesn't mean it's not landing with people. And I got to keep going and doing it. I'm going to do it week after week. And I'm helping to model for you how you can show up and be consistent in your brand. And these things, it's not overnight. Wasn't overnight for Marie. It's not going to be overnight for you. The key is consistency, and the key is finding your signature style, finding that, that special sauce, that special thing that lands with an audience. And that's really the key to Marie's success. Her brand is really her whole personality, that she's been able to kind of find what pieces of her personality resonate most with her audience, what lands with them most, and she's built a brand around it. So that's number one. You got to be consistent with your content. And Ash Amberger, speaking of consistent content, speaking of finding your unique flavor, Ash Amberger of the Middle Finger Project, she sent out an email the other day that was freaking amazing. She was like, how do you build a brand online? And this is a free thing. How do you build it? It's not publicity. It's not a crazy awesome website. It's not even like blogging every day. It is, but this is the secret. This is what she said. You need to get an opinion. Get an opinion, folks. Be opinionated. That's what people are drawn to. They want to hear your opinion on things. And when you share and you pivot and you play around with creating consistent content and being brave in sharing your unique opinion about things, you're going to find something that lands eventually. And that's what's going to build your audience. That's what's going to build your brand. That right there, get an opinion. Boom. Number one. All right. Number two way to build a brand that is even better than Marie's, not better than Marie, but better for you. Number two way is you got to find your community people. You got to find a community of people that love what you do, that are peripheral to, it's not necessarily going to be someone in your industry. Like, I do spend time around other web designers and strategists, but I also spend time around other small business owners who are interested and might be interested in my services and need my services, might not be exactly my colleague, but I've found different communities online. And here's the other part of the community piece in here. It's not just about finding your community. It's about finding ways to lift up and support other small business owners who are also rising up along with you. And I got to give credit to this idea to, speaking of lifting up and supporting, even though this person doesn't need a lift, but I'm just going to lift anyway. Tara Gentile, I was listening to her podcast last night about how to become an insider when you're still kind of like, you feel like you're still on the outside of the in crowd, you're not in the in crowd yet. And this is exactly what she said. It's all about finding other people who are rising up in business and supporting them. And if you look at Marie, if you look at Marie's recipe for success, she had kind of her inner circle of other women, other small business owners, and they all supported each other in their rise up. Gabby Bernstein, Chris Carr, Laura Roeder, look at all the Amy Porterfield. They have all had each other's backs. They have all supported each other, and in their rising up, as that whole phrase, rising tides lift all boats, something like that. That is key to success as a business owner. It is not just about me, like, how can I build myself? How can I build myself up? It's about lifting up others, because not only are you going to, of course, build goodwill and people are going to be grateful and appreciative and want to help you if you help them, but it's also in that act of lifting up and supporting other businesses and paying attention to what they're doing, you will learn by osmosis. We together is better, as Jason Stein always says. And so lifting up other business owners is not all about the selfish, like, quid pro quo-ness of it, although there is an element of that. Come on, let's be honest about it. It is also about the fact that when we're surrounding ourselves with other people that we're getting better and better and better at what we do. And so that's my number 2 for you about building a brand that's even better than Marie's. It's about surrounding yourself with a community of people and then lifting up and supporting other business owners in their own rise to success. That is a key to that's a key, baby. All right, number 3, laying it down. I'm going to be real with you. Let's just be honest now. The number 3 thing that I want you to keep in mind is you're building your own brand and you're doing it in your own unique to you way, not copycatting Marie Forleo, is going to be you want to find a designer, a web designer and a strategist that refuses to copy another brand in order to help you succeed. If you find a web designer that's like, oh yeah, I can make you a Marie Forleo website. Like, yeah, we'll just, you know, like move around some colors and like copy it around, but I'll do it. You need to run. You need to run fast, because not only is copying Marie Forleo's website not the secret to success, it can hurt you. And I've gone over the reasons why. Nobody loves a knockoff. If you're following another brand, you're always going to be 2 steps behind, and you want to be 2 steps ahead. And your audience can smell when you're wearing another person's brand as a costume. So you want to find a designer and a strategist that refuses to copy another brand and that is passionate about helping you find your brand voice, helping you find your sweet spot, helping you find your signature sweet sauce. That's what you want to be looking out for, folks, as a web designer and a strategist who's going to help you shine and build a brand uniquely you. And I don't want to say it's archaic, but I think it is actually archaic. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I'm JK, except I'm not. And, but you know how I roll. I'm not the web designer that's going to sell you stuff that you don't need. And what I want you to do before you even reach out to work with me is I want you to head over to don'thireawebdesigner.com. Check it out. I've got a great book there, an ebook, a free ebook about everything you need to do before you hire the big old, the big fancy web designer. Before you call me up and inevitably say, okay, Rach, I read your post. I saw your video. I know I don't want Marie Forleo's website, even though I really do. Before you say that, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what you like. We'll talk about what you don't like. And we'll talk about what is unique about your brand that resonates with your audience. It's been real, guys. I've had a really great time. Hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you here next week, Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central. One of these days I'm going to be doing like a musical, just straight out the whole time singing. It's a thing I do. In the meantime, check it out. Don'tHireAWebDesigner.com.